night.
No.
Which is amazing because it was thick out there.
Yeah, it was. The dew points were in the 60s and 70s. We've had heat advisories, excessive heat warnings ongoing. We actually got a temperature of 112 degrees down in Granfield. So there was extreme heat.
Yeah.
And this weekend, it's going to be hotter.
It's going to be worse.
It's going to be worse here in Oklahoma City.
Tomorrow's the bad day of the two, right?
Yeah, we were talking about a 1 degree difference. So
every bit helps.
I mean, we'll see what happens. But today, at least, we didn't get to 100 degrees officially in Oklahoma City. The air temperature, at least. But the heat indices, we were well into the low 100s. So we're adding another day to the 90-degree plus temperatures so far. So that puts us at 46, and we're going to stay at 8 for 100 degrees plus. So today, again, 98 degrees in Oklahoma City, but low 90s in the northeast, low to upper 90s in the northwest. But there's that 112 degrees down in Granfield. But lots of locations, anywhere between about 105 to 110 degrees along the Red River. So it's miserable in southern Oklahoma, and it's going to stay that way for quite some time until we can actually get a cold front to move through. We need something to mix things up a little bit. But the excessive heat warning ongoing for parts of eastern Oklahoma, heat advisory. Here in the metro now, out west, you don't see anything, but it's still going to be hot. It's just going to be drier, so the humidity is going to be a little less. This is our Regency camera up of our Lucky Star Skycam network, mostly clear. We're still at 85 degrees with an east wind at 10 miles an hour with dew points in the mid-70s, though it feels more like 93 degrees. Temperatures right now in the upper 70s across the northeast. We still have some low to upper 80s in the southwest and 90 degrees still down there as well. So a couple of low 90s showing up. Generally, most of us are dropping down into the 80s at least. With the southeast wind between about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So that wind, it's going to be picking up a little bit more, especially in western Oklahoma as we go throughout the rest of the weekend, and even into early next week, a little bit more wind out there. So we have to watch that fire threat because the humidity is going to be so low. It's just been so dry as of late, and it's clearly going to be very hot as well. But not so much of a fire threat to the northeast. But we're not the only ones dealing with the heat. It goes all the way up to the Dakotas and all the way down to Texas. Anything interesting going on? We've got a little bit of rain activity out to the west, but the true story is really going to be what is taking place across the tropics. That's been a little bit more active as of late. And Hurricane Hillary, Category 4 earlier today, you can see that eye. It's actually strengthening a little bit. It almost looks like it's going to continue to go off to the north. So we're still seeing wind gusts upwards of around 160 miles an hour as it makes landfall eventually later this weekend. It will start to weekend, but we're still going to see quite a bit of rain and a lot of wind as well. And that could go as far east as about Vegas, but that's going to stay well west of us. We're going to be under the heat dome at least for the next several days. So the low 100s, upper 90s, that's going to be sticking around quite literally with all the rain and storms just kind of going around us. And again, the tropics staying kind of active, but we cannot get any rain in here to save our lives. Now, as we get into next weekend, we do get a cold front to eventually move through. At least that's what some of the data is showing. Behind it, less hot, not cool. We're going to be dropping down into the low to mid 90s with at least a chance of rain and storms, but that's still many days away. So tonight, dropping down into the low 70s eventually in Oklahoma City, about 70 in Ponca City, 76 in Lawton, 76 degrees in Ardmore, 78 tomorrow morning in Durant. But in the afternoon, looking for a high of about 105 degrees. The record in Oklahoma City is 106. That was back in 1934. So we're going to get really close to that. 106 in Alva, 106 in Clinton, 108 tomorrow afternoon in Lawton and in Altus. By Sunday afternoon, we're down to 104. The record that day is 105. 103 in Ponca City, 103 in Alva, 105 in Hobart, 107 in Altus and Lawton. By Monday afternoon, still looking at low 100s for most of the state. We do back down into the upper 90s by about midweek, but there's that cold front. Hopefully it sticks around. Right now, it could knock us down at least a few degrees. Guys, back to you.